Hey guys, so welcome to another show.
Hey, what's up? Nevin 2.0 here, aka Samuel. So, how's everybody doing? Eric, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good.
Good, good. We're making progress.
Yeah.
So, today's topics are still the same. Eric, you want to give the full debrief on that one?
Yeah, so essentially we're gonna be talking about, some topics that we already that we are
Eric, are you seriously laughing? What's wrong with you? Come on.
we're gonna be talking about some topics that we already talked about basically, like, from last
Sorry, we were
week.
thinking something funny. That's why we're still laughing our butts off a little bit. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
like from last week, we basically touched a little bit on Toonami and Adult Swim, so we're actually going to talk a little bit more about that today. And of course, we're going to have some new topics as well. But that's pretty much going to be kind of an ongoing thing in this podcast is, us talking about, like, say, Toonami and Adult Swim and, other topics that we think of in the future too, because there's a lot that can be said about these things, and it's not just necessarily all going to be, talked about in, like, say, like a 30-minute segment of the show or something. So,
You know what's really sad about that, too? People literally assume, like, some people actually literally assume that Adult Swim is not one of the funniest things to watch or anything like that because they think it's like, are we able to say stoner in this channel or what?
are we what?
Are we able to say stoner?
Yeah, I don't see why
Thank
not.
God. I thought we were about ready not to. Okay. So basically, some people think that people who watch Adult Swim or anything like that, they're basically like stoned out of their mind or something, which is like one of the most common jokes back then at that time. Although here's the problem. It's a little stale. So don't say stoner for Adult Swim. That's not the case anymore. Wanna know why? Rick and Morty, baby. Also, Toonami.
Yeah.
Also, Primal, which we'll get to that in a second. Because
Oh yeah,
Primal
that's right.
is one of my favorite 2D, literally one of my favorite 2D like projects of all time by Genny Travasky. And for those who don't know who that is, I'm pulling off my beanie and doing this. I am so sorry for
I
all of
think
you.
they would know if because they know Samurai Jack probably, right? So they would.
Samurai Jack, yeah, but here's the problem. Do they know about Primal? That video never got any, like, when I first saw it, I absolutely loved it. And then I was looking at reactions about it a little bit. I know. Reaction videos are like, bah, 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 bah. But here's the problem. I do not care what you think. A reaction video is still something. People may hate them, or some people I looked at may hate them. But does that mean that they're all that bad? Of course not, Sonny Jim.
I mean, honestly, like I do enjoy reaction videos. Like I think they're funny.
Some of them, not all of them, but it depends on where you look up or who
Yeah,
you
it
look
depends
into.
what you look up, but I mean, like, for the most part, what I like about them is just seeing people's reactions to them, because it's like, seeing them look up these crazy things or whatever, these hilarious things. But
Are we able to actually like mention any YouTube videos in this on a serious
yeah, of
note?
course, you can mention the YouTube video.
Okay. Wait, what about the channel?
That's up to you if you want to, sure.
Okay, let me clarify something. A quick shout out to a few reaction channels I actually know. I Am Zamber and Renegades React. That's all I remember so far. There are others, but I don't want to go into a big full list on it.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I like these specific ones is because I think they do follow the actual reactions guideline of giving an actual reaction. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And yet somehow some people still think that reaction videos like that are still like dumb, but it's not in this case.
Yeah.
Because in the case of Renegades React, they may do reaction videos in his reaction channel, but at least they admit it and they realize that they're specifically talking about the same topics that we're talking about right now.
Right.
And the problem with that is, at least with their content and with I Am Zamber's content, at least they actually give 2 dog droppings. Hey, Hey, no cussing, but I'm definitely going to reference it in some way, in some wordplay. So that doesn't count. I guess you're going to be editing that part out? Okay, so in all seriousness, though, about the reaction channels of Renegades React and I Am Zamber, one last time, at least they are willing to admit that they do reactions, and at the same time, at least they do follow the same content that everyone else who are fans of that content. And they still give it on their own intake on what they love about doing, not necessarily these reaction videos with them, but connecting with them as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, shout out, guys. So, there we go. So, speaking of content, that is, I think, pretty good, that I still think is good. I can't necessarily say it's the best in the world because I haven't exactly given my full, scenario on it. But there's a scenario known as, I'm sure you've all heard of it, Lone Wolf and Cub. For anyone who is a gigantic Japanese anime fan of any Japanese content, Lone Wolf and Cub originally was a manga in the, I think, in the early or late 60s at that time. I have to research and look back into it. I could be wrong, so just don't hold me off on that just yet. Because I do love the content of Lone Wolf and Cub, and I'm not going to knock it out, you know?
Yeah, and are you, what are you talking about? The original, movie right now, or the anime?
Oh, no, there's a TV series, too. There's lots of movies on that, including the manga first.
Yeah, but, which one are you referencing right now or wanting to talk about?
Oh, the TV series.
So, the manga anime series?
Oh, there's no manga anime series. This is a TV series. It's literally just live action, TV series.
Oh, it's the live action one.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
You are correct, sir.
Wow, there's never been an anime of it yet?
Not that I know of, no.
Huh. That's crazy.
It's more than crazy. It's delightful. Because sometimes there are some live action shows that actually literally could get it right, but at the same time, probably just don't.
Yeah.
For the sake of simply just, well, my eyes are crossed in. Trying to think of, specifically on how people like to take in shows like this. I'll give you a general preference. I forgot what kind of ranking officer he was. I wasn't sure if it was actually officer or not. I have to go back in there and actually research it again because I just watched a few episodes.
Right.
He basically was the person that's supposed to decapitate your head after a lord or a specific noble commits harakiri.
Okay.
And there's a specific clan that the shogunate used to sort of take him out of position. I have to go back and research. Like I said, I'm not 100% sure on the general premises. They're basically a group of ninja warriors that have been trying to kill this guy, Ita Ogami, and his son, Daigoro. I think it's Daigoro. And the thing is, the show is not just violent, for that, you can see, there's tension when it comes, you don't see tension of the son, because the main character, Ida, literally raises his son by literally just pushing him on a cart.
Okay.
It's literally just a wooden cart that he can use as a small boat. Funny enough. Because I've seen an episode where that was actually done. Apparently there are two hidden spears on the actual sides of the actual thing.
Right.
And then there's the fact that his son literally sees death almost constantly every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, Lone Wolf and Cub was so impactful, even getting Travasky added that into a show.
Huh. That's
I'm not even
interesting.
kidding you. Remember the time? Remember the time where I was going over Jack's Pass?
Jack's, yeah.
And Jack, and there's an episode of Samurai Jack where this was referenced. Jack basically was reminiscing, or I'm not sure that's the right word for it. Crap, I really gotta start going back to a dictionary.
Probably.
Anyway,
Like
he basically
recalling the
was remembering
past?
his. He was remembering his past.
Then yeah, that's the right word.
Okay, I think reminiscing in his past, like basically he was remembering his time back in his kingdom before Aku even showed up.
Right.
And then there was one scene where he literally was witnessing a samurai pushing a cart with his son. And this
Okay.
exact same samurai was definitely a big reference to Lone Wolf and Cub, although it didn't look exactly like him, but you can tell it was that reference.
Right.
But only if you truly understood. Because, my God, you did not mess with Papa in that episode. But the way they captured, like, the way that he wanted to use that reference so well in that episode, I think kind of was a great idea to give Jack that sense of being, like, a samurai that literally has to survive realistically in that wilderness, because samurai is seen as like some kind of flashy like stuff back then, but in this case of Lone Wolf and Cub, that's not the case.
Mm.
They're literally just a father and son trying to get by, walk down the path of revenge because of what they did to him by taking away his position and also endangering his son as well.
That's interesting. I gotta check
And
that out.
quite frankly, though, like yeah, you do. Like I would say in some episodes, you do feel very sorry for Daigoro, because it's not necessarily just because he's like just a kid. It's the fact being that you can see in his eyes that he understands what his dad is trying to do for him.
Right.
Every single. And the thing is, no matter what happens, he never wants to leave his dad's side. Not ever.
Interesting. Wait, hang on, dude. I'll be right back, okay?
Yeah, take your time.
Alright, I'll be back. Don't worry.
Take your time.
If you want to keep telling them about it, you can.
It's better that you're here, though. It makes it more feeling. Take your time, bud. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Okay, sorry about that, guys. I'm back.
My God, that was like 10 or like 15 minutes. I was just like slowly eating these really quick just to add like funny effect, but I guess it didn't pull off.
Oh, the good old fashioned pub mix.
You're probably going to make sure to solve some of the. I don't know. You're probably add the whole silent thing, including me eating these chips, because I didn't say anything. But like,
No,
I'm
it's
I mean my
fine.
favorite shot.
It's
What
fine.
it do? No, but
But yeah, where was there anything else you wanted to I guess finish up with that topic?
yeah. Let's see. Mm, let me think. Crud. Sorry about that. Okay. I would recommend anyone who wants to see Lone Wolf and Cub to at least try the manga out first, and if not, go with the movie series or even the TV series. Either one's fine.
Hmm.
Because either way, they're all quite fascinating to me, and like there had to be reasons why some people have referenced Wolf and Cub in some of their shows, especially Kenny Travasky. I did not believe. I couldn't believe he had such like. That's getting edited out, isn't it?
I don't
Yeah, right.
know. Probably, yeah.
Dang it. At least that's not. God.
Yeah, but yeah, like I mean, yeah, well, I guess we can talk about the Primal show next time or something. We can dedicate an entire category to Primal if you want.
Oh, trust me. Primal will not take that long to discuss. I assure you.
Well, we wanted to talk about it for a long kind of though. I mean, there's a lot to talk about with it. I feel like.
Not too much though. There's about maybe 20, maybe 30 minutes of content I can explain because I'm trying not to spoil it for you. That's why.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've seen lots of the episodes though. Remember?
You did? Oh, I thought you didn't.
Well, I kind of saw it with you the other time when we watched it together, like the end.
Oh yeah, that's right. When we were
So
still doing the while we're still back during the Barney's birthday surprise party to now,
yeah.
it's still a great party, kids. That's right. I went that far. Hey, trust me, that's not actually even a quote either. That's just like
I know.
whatever. Because that dinosaur alone was creepy enough without those soulless eyes and that costume looking at you all.
Which was your like? So which character was like the scariest for you on that show?
Which one?
On Barney.
Barney himself. The kid's annoying.
I mean, I never saw him as being scary, but that's gonna be a long edit.
Yeah, that's why I was trying to suggest we make these like 2-hour videos, or at least like because longer videos are fine. Trust me, I'm not gonna deny that. But
all right, stop. We're going out of context. Like,
okay, all right.
Wasting time, like.
All right, Papa Stricter, I got you. I got you. Don't worry about it. It's fine. I get it. Trust me.
All right. So okay, I guess we'll go on next to the Toonami.
Yeah, and yes, we are doing another Toonami discussion.
Yeah. So basically, okay. So
and to clarify,
I guess here's the difference. Here's what I was gonna. Huh?
I was just saying the audience, and to clarify, it's not going to be repetitive. It's just something we'll discuss every now and then because.
So here's a new thing I have to talk about with it, right? I guess a new story I can share.
Say away.
All right. So basically, I already told you kind of what a little Toonami story like last time or whatever about like the whole Full Metal Alchemist thing and with my friend, right?
Right.
I slept over his house, right? But like, I guess this time I can talk to you kind of about. Well, this was almost in the time when. This was at the time when they basically brought back Toonami.
Really?
Like, do you remember when Toonami went off the air?
That's the thing. I moved around a lot, like from
like around the year like 2011. So
Yeah,
anyway,
that was actually a difficult move because I was at California and I moved to another state, which I'm not going to talk about.
right.
I'll say that was in California. That was it. I
I know
was
it's
in
fine,
California.
but yeah. So anyway, right? Basically, it was around the year 2011, I guess, right, when they actually decided to, I think, bring back Toonami,
Right,
and
right, right.
because it actually went off the air, like I think it went off in like probably like 2000, like probably like 2009 or something, right? Or like maybe
I
even sooner, maybe like 2008. Basically, it was around the time when about when like Naruto, the original series, ended,
mm.
and they pretty much showed the last few episodes, and then I think Toonami pretty much, it got discontinued. They they shut it down off the air for a while, and then
Which never made any sense on why. That thing was like one of the biggest money
I know,
cashers. So
right? I mean, like that's the
it
thing.
should have
Is
been
that's
anyway.
that's why though they shut it down. I think is because they couldn't fund it anymore for some reason.
That's ridiculous. I bet
But
it didn't have to do with that.
but that was around the
Oh.
time when they had like Maguzi. You remember Maguzi? Yeah.
I
Yeah.
appreciated Kolioko, but that was about it.
Oh, that was a great show.
It was may have been
I absolutely
French.
loved that show,
It
dude.
was so good.
I
Wait,
like
was it
that was
French?
another thing. Like we used to watch that too, like around the time of fifth grade.
Question: Was it
Naruto.
French? Or was it a French show? Or was it Korean? I forgot.
Oh no, it's French.
We
Yeah, because it was made by like that, maybe I think a different company. It wasn't made by Marathon, I don't think.
mm,
Marathon is the company who made Totally Spies and Martin Mystery, I believe. But that
mm.
was another French company.
Totally spies. I
Yeah, that was
feel
another
like it
great
was
one, right?
no other. Or adults, children, don't ask these questions.
I mean, it was like solid production, like same with Martin Mystery, like
Hey, Marmish was also awesome. I'm surprised no one ever really gave that any credit.
yeah, yeah. I
But
mean,
this,
they
this
really
is
did
a
put a
bad
lot of
thing.
great
Like,
work into that animation. Like they had a solid like limited animation style to it and everything. Like they had the, like wonderful like hand painted backgrounds and stuff. But anyway, I'm getting kind of off topic, but we can talk more about it later, I guess. Um,
yeah, I need to
but anyway,
rewatch
with the
Marmish.
Toonami story, right? Like it went off the air for a while, and then it came back around like probably like 2011 about. Even though they still aired anime on Adult Swim,
Mm.
it took a while for Toonami to actually come back, and then they brought back like Tom and everything, right? And that was like the whole Toonami resurgence in like 2011 around that time. So, I was basically in high school around that time, um,
Me,
and
I was starting college at that time.
yeah, and then basically I was just it was a good time, a fairly good time, I guess, but I don't know, it was also towards the end of high school for me, so I was getting kind of burned out with it, and I just wanted to be done with it, and like it was actually like a pretty like a pretty lonely time though, because I don't know, for some reason, like
Oh, Eric.
I
It's
was
okay,
really
buddy.
like closed off from my friends and stuff back then. Like I didn't really hang out with anybody as much as I used to.
Oh,
And
believe me. Same way with me when I was still trying to get used to. In fact, I was still finishing up a little bit remaining of high school in 2011. Oh wait, actually, hold on. I need to rephrase that story. I was still a little bit in high school myself. I just forgot like when. Actually, no,
yeah,
it should have been around. No, it was around 2011
yeah. But then
or 2012. It had to be
but
2000.
basically, so like here's the thing, right? Is like around that time, what was there? They had it was basically like Samurai 7 was a big show they had,
Mm.
and they had like I think like Araka 7 and everything too, right?
Eureka 7?
Yeah,
I think so. Eureka
they had
7
like
was probably before then, too.
yeah, it was like something like those few things, and then yeah, they were. It was just a good time for that kind of stuff. That like I really enjoy watching that show. Like that was actually probably around that time too. Is when I was learning like actual stuff, like say like Adobe Illustrator and stuff in school too.
Really? We're studying that during that time?
Yeah, like that was like basically the previous year. Like we had these classes called like computer art.
Okay.
So like I was in this class, this elective called computer art, like 1 and 2 and 3 or something like that, and basically that was part of the thing is I was learning those kind of Adobe programs and stuff, and so that was like kind of me getting my feet wet with those programs, and actually starting to like learn them and everything, which was cool, because I was basically like doing that while I was of course, like still just having fun watching all these things like Toonami and stuff like that. I was really excited when they brought back Toonami because like I was talking to, a few friends and stuff, and we were all really psyched about it that they actually were gonna bring it back because like we all had these memories of like Toonami and everything, and like we were like, why did it even go off in the first place? Like just bring it. Like I'm glad you brought it back, but just keep it on there if you can.
Yeah, because let's face it, Xiaomi is basically just like the ultimate like channel for anime, regardless. Because let's face it had its own style, had its own appreciation for
Right.
showing anime, even for the very beginning of Toonami in general.
Mm-hmm. And then let's see. Basically, after that, like I guess I could tell you a little bit of the Adult Swim story too. Is like kind of like a bit before that year though. Like they did air a lot of anime on like Adult Swim still, right? Um, so even though they didn't have Toonami anymore in like the year like 2010 or something like that, of course they were still going strong with like anime on Adult Swim because basically almost all the anime that they would have shown on Toonami was like being shown on Adult Swim on like Saturday nights. Like they always do basically. So it was almost like it was always there and never really left, I guess. Anime kind of never left the station. But it was just switched to like Adult Swim. So like but the thing is like the brand of shows they were showing, like they did show like I think like maybe like Naruto Shippuden or something, but basically that all got switched to Adult Swim. But like number one is like it was a great in like 2010. It was a great time too because I was like the same thing I kind of told you, I was in high school like and learning all those programs or whatever. But then I was like in a math class that I was just kind of annoyed with or whatever. And that was the thing, like I would just always look forward to watching like the Saturday night Adult Swim or whatever. And like I think Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood came out around that time too, and
I think I think during that time I wasn't able to actually see it because my mother and I were moving during that part of our lives, and
right.
I was watching other things at that time too.
Yeah.
We never really got back to really watching.
But like, and that's the thing too, is like, it was a cool time, but like, but then again, like, looking back on it, I also didn't really like where I was at in life because it was just like, I don't know, for some reason, like, I always hated Sundays, But, yeah, like, I don't know, I would stay up every night and, like, watch the thing on Saturday night. Maybe because there was nothing really on Sundays. But,
yeah.
like, sometimes I would record the show or whatever on my DVR, like, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and watch it the next day or something like that. But, yeah, like, I would always stay up and watch, like, say, like, Bleach. Like, I was really, I'd always get excited to watch Bleach or something on, like, Saturday Night Adult Swim back then in, like, 2010. Like, that was probably one of the first times I actually saw Bleach, is, like, around or I mean, that wasn't the first time. Like, I saw it. I actually saw it around the time when it first came out, I think, and aired on Adult Swim, but it was like over my friend's house or something, maybe. Like when they had that original, like when he was, with Ichigo's original first form or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
Soul Reaper form.
Yeah, I kind of stopped paying attention to Bleach.
Yeah, like I mean, I'm still watching it now. Like I decided to go back and like start from the beginning on it now because I never could. Because that's the
I
thing,
can
I
honestly
never
say
could.
I can never do that.
Huh?
I can honestly say I can never go back to Bleach
Why?
ever. Let's see. They made Ichigo too powerful, from what people have been speculating, which turns out to be true. He's literally 3 darn things. He's a Hollow, Soul Reaper, Human, Quincy.
Well, they're just his different like forms or whatever.
But it shouldn't have to be that thing. He should just be one specific thing and just be that. They made him too overpowered at this point.
I don't know. Like they're just different. Like I guess things he acquires basically that changes his look. Like like the whole like Shinigami thing or whatever, or no, like the Bankai.
Yeah.
Like Ichigo's Bankai form is basic. The Bankai is the thing he actually gets or whatever, I think, right?
Yeah.
And then basically that just changes his look, kind of, or his sword at least.
I will admit though that katana may
That's
not.
what I like about Bleach is like the huge like all the forms he has and everything. Like, they're just insane. But what were you saying?
I'll admit though, I do like the Bankai sword. Basically, that's just my opinion though. That's probably the only one thing I like out of that show.
Yeah. I mean, like my favorite character in the show is probably Chad, actually, though. But
Chad?
Yeah, you know who Chad is, or Yasutora Sato. He's basically the guy who has the arm thing.
Oh, okay, yeah, him.
Yeah.
Really strange how a Mexican immigrant is in Japan.
I know, right? Like, I
mean, it's fine. I just didn't expect that to actually.
Well, wait, that was the thing with his story is he actually is from like Mexico or whatever, I think. But yeah, like that was I remember I just got done with that whole like segment or whatever where it showed his backstory. But that's pretty much the end of I guess the story for now. Like, oh yeah, there is. I don't know if I should really even share the other Toonami story if you even want to hear it now, or if I should just hold off for the next time or something.
That's kind of the thing. I kind of stopped following Toonami at that one point in my life.
Yeah, I guess we can just. Though I have the next story for it is kind of too long anyway, so we'll just talk about that another time, I guess, right?
Okay,
so
let's see.
We'll just move on to the next thing. Is like, what are your favorite live action movies?
Let me think.
I know there's a lot.
Live action.
Basically, it can just basically be anything. Like, they can be your favorite of all time, but I guess it doesn't necessarily have to be right now. Like,
yeah.
Like,
Sorry.
We can basically just, like I said, like we can continue talking about our favorites next time or whatever if we don't get to everything this time.
Well, I'm not sure if live action really should that count for every movie that's been made.
Basically, yeah, I guess it can, like every live action.
Well, let's see. There's the Indiana Jones franchise. Although ironically, I don't watch much of it like I should because I want to embrace its glorious.
I really have to go back and watch all those movies too. I've seen maybe a few of them.
Yeah.
Let's see. The Lost Ark.
There's also Secondhand Lions.
They're great movies. And they even had that Indiana Jones game too.
Yeah, imagine they decided to make a. You know what's weird? They made a little TV series called Young Indiana Jones, and I don't think it did well at all.
Really?
It's probably so bad that people don't even want to go back and be like, "Yeah, we need to hide this stuff from people."
Was it animated or something?
Nope, it was all live action, and it looked horrible.
I was gonna say because did you ever? You just reminded me of. Did you ever see that animated Mummy show?
I think so. It was probably better than the movie.
It was pretty
Let's
good.
face it.
It was a good show. I liked it.
Let's face it. If you do something animated and you make it look more like, I would say, BA than the actual movie,
Yeah.
which sucked. So many bad eggs. Like, they just like cracked a hole in the egg, sucked out all the rotten crud, just like that. Because I saw the original Mummy, and I'm not gonna lie. Well, I haven't seen the original Mummy. Like, I've seen references of the original Mummy. Let me tell you, if I had the chance, I'm watching that sucker because that looks like an amazing psychological movie. I think that's what it was all about. It was like a psychological thing. I have to like look back into it though.
Yeah.
Because they say that original version of the Mummy was like one of the best ever because it had a lot of like twists and turns and stuff. I think.
Mm-hmm.
I had to just rewatch. I just had to watch it for myself and find out because sometimes you gotta look back and think, just like, my God, this is just something. It's fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed some of the Mummy movies, but then for some reason, like, that was also one of the first PS2 games I remember seeing too, is the Mummy game, because my friend, like, he actually had it or something, and he brought it over one time to play it, but I didn't really play much of it because he was playing most of it, but
yeah,
it was pretty cool.
I heard of another game like that called Sphinx, and
Dude, Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy?
Yeah, I never finished playing it.
Dude, I love that game. That was a great game.
Greater than the Mummy game?
I don't know about that. Maybe. They're both good.
Eric, how dare you? That game seems to be a lot better than the Mummy.
They're both great games, so they're different. You know, one goes for like a very comic-like approach. You know, Sphinx.
Yeah.
It's like a really cartoonish like look to it, but it's cool.
That's what made it so fucking awesome.
Those classic PS2 games just have like a lot of soul in them.
Yes, you want to know why? They were at the time where games were starting to actually truly begin to become revolutionary.
Right.
I would know this because I played games on PlayStation 2, which, ironically, I think I still have my PlayStation 2 system. I don't know if I do or don't. I can't really remember.
Right. Let's see.
But I do remember having the games, those PlayStation games, so that's one good thing.
But yeah, what did you even mention any of your favorite live action movies yet?
Okay, let me see. I already said, let's see, Indiana Jones franchise.
Yeah, Indiana Jones.
Except for the Crystal Skull, that one was kind of a meh.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, the whole point of Indiana Jones is to be architect for ancient past, not aliens. For some reason.
Mm-hmm.
You see? What I'm getting here? Aliens do not belong in the Indiana Jones movie. Because that takes away the mystery and the mystic, like, craziness that our world can produce of its own, you know?
Yeah.
That just takes away the thought of, like, maybe the Holy Grail was some kind of powerful cup that could literally heal you if you spill it on some guy's bullet wound. Let's go with that, huh?
Yeah.
What drinks it? Oh, they get eternal life, baby. I mean, my God, it's like just holy crud. But okay. First off, in another strange way, when it comes to like okay. My other favorites, there are these two. One I better remember, but it involved Robert Duvall. In fact, there is one I do remember with him, though. It's Secondhand Lions. That's also one of my favorites as well.
Secondhand Lions.
Yes, it's about these two old men. Huh?
I gotta check that one out.
Really good. Funny. Awesome. Perfect. Because here's the thing. It's really about these two old men played by Robert Duvall and Michael Caine.
Okay.
And it was during the time when Haley Joel Osment was part of that show. That was way before, and probably after he played Sora in the first game.
Yeah, I've seen. I might have seen the trailer for it or something then, because I've seen him in some movie or something, or TV series. It was like some Western TV series, like.
Oh, he was in. I think he was in. Oh God, I remember where he was from now. Texas Rangers with Chuck Norris. Oh God.
Yeah.
I mean, there were some decent episodes, but most of the time it was just like, what on earth am I watching? Someone kill me, please. I want death.
Right.
I crave death sometimes because of this. Why? Why? Oh, God. Anyway, other than that whole shenanigans, I declare shenanigans on you. What? I didn't do anything. Doesn't matter. Shenanigans. God, anyway, like, I could just remember, like, Jesus Christ, like, I could literally just remember, like, all this stuff. Just, ugh. Anyway, Secondhand Lamps was really good because these two old men who didn't even want this kid on their property, or at least one of them didn't, because he didn't know how to raise a kid at all.
Right.
The other guy thought that him being there would actually be really good for, his health, since they're both old and possibly dying one day in the future. And then sometime later, as they got used to him being in that movie, they literally just raised him, and he grew up to be a really famous comic book writer.
Nice.
Well, he wasn't like Marvel like comic book writer. He just wrote like little comics and stories on like newspapers and stuff. Yeah, you have to see it for yourself. It's really fascinating. Especially the way that like how they delivered Robert Duvall's acting, because despite the political views of some actors I looked up, their acting is still genuine. Dang it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so it was like, oh no, I got frozen again. Okay, hold on. Crud.
But yeah.
Okay. What makes Secondhand Alliance was basically just really amazing when it came to like Robert Duvall's acting was amazing and still is at this time. Like, despite some of the movies that he became in recently, he was still considered to be one of the best actors of all time.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, he was actually in the Godfather franchise.
Nice.
If you haven't, it's okay.
I honestly haven't even seen the Godfather movies. Like, I think I've seen them on TV one time or something, like some of them, but at least one. But I have to go back and watch those.
Yeah, that's
and
fair.
I want to play the games too.
Who doesn't? Wait, games?
Yeah. You never knew they made the Godfather the game?
Oh, good God.
Dude, they're great
games. Oh, no. What have they done?
Dude, you seriously have never heard of those games? They were basically like PS2 games. Like, they were called The Godfather and The Godfather like 2 or whatever. And then and then they even made The Godfather 3, I think, on like PS3 maybe.
Eric?
Huh?
Look what I got.
What the? Is that Xehanort?
No, that's Zyx 10.
Oh, I see. Nice.
And I already have that medal. I was doing that while we were doing our thing. I apologize. I could pay attention to both at once.
Yeah, in case you guys don't know what we're talking about the Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key game.
Yeah, really fun, by the way. If you put it with if you put it with like some tolerant, if you put it with like repetitive gameplay sometimes, but it happens.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
But yeah, like, I guess I don't know, in terms like my favorite movies, like let's see, favorite live action movies. I mean, there's
Your turn, bud.
basically whenever I think of this category, there's basically like three main ones that kind of come to mind, right?
Right, right, right.
So, I mean, it's hard to really pick a number one favorite. So I'm not really gonna do that, I guess, right now, because it's like I have a number one favorite in different genres. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't just I don't know. It's kind of hard to pick just one number one favorite to represent every title, in every genre or the one you treasure the most. But
It is actually, yeah. I will
because
admit.
like I like because like I have like a favorite superhero movie, and then I have like a favorite like say non superhero movie because like they're just too different. Like there's like I watch them for different reasons.
Right.
So basically like I guess one of them, thinking back to the really early days, I mean, something that's just a pretty big staple in my family, I guess, which it would just have to be the original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
That is fairly understandable. Trust me, I get it, man.
Yeah. I don't know, like there's just something about that movie that's just like it just really hits home. Like it just feels really close to home or something. Like it just I don't know, it's just like one of those movies where it's like it just really makes you I don't know, you just feel like you're at home with your family or something with those characters almost. Like, I mean, not all the characters, but like,
Right.
the good characters in it. Like, but like, I always watched that movie as a kid and I just, I always was really in awe of it because it's just like so crazy. Like,
Well, the
I
point of that
mean,
movie was the point of that movie was to there were some people who made some points about like things that you really want to get in order to get what you want in life.
right.
You
Well,
have to
that's the
really
thing is
want
like what
something.
I'm finding out now is like it has all these crazy like hidden basically meanings and stuff in almost every part of the movie and like every part of the like cinematography and stuff like they basically frame the entire movie as almost like a life lesson.
Yeah, because it is meant to actually just be all those points in one setting, and I will appreciate it for that because it is incredible for doing all that as well.
Yeah, and then like it's also the like not only the fact that like I really like the songs and stuff in it like but which is always like really funny, but it's also the like just the overall aesthetic of the movie is what I really like about it too is like I mean number one the movie like was like shot in Germany. So like it has all this
Yeah,
really cool looking architecture and stuff which it's crazy how like Willie I mean like they're supposed to be in like America in the movie, right?
mm.
But like it definitely does like look like Germany throughout the movie because like when you just see that movie and you just look at like the architecture and stuff you
Mm-hmm.
can just instantly recognize that it looks foreign.
Is that supposed to be the whole point, though?
Well, I feel like they shot it there because they found these like great little like towns and stuff to shoot, right?
Uh huh.
That like they found all these locations that you probably wouldn't find in America like the thing to shoot for the chocolate factory. They probably found like perfect factory locations to shoot and stuff, and then things like the gate and stuff look really whimsical in Germany, so I guess that's why they might have chosen it too. But yeah, enough about that for now. I guess but yeah, that's like one movie, right? Then I
Yeah.
guess my favorite superhero movie. I guess another favorite movie would have to be the original Spider-Man. Sam Raimi's original Spider-Man movie.
Hmm. Yeah. I,
Cause like I was pretty much obsessed with that movie when it came out. Like I can't even tell you how much like stuff that I like bought for that movie with the original like stuff because I
right.
remember like going out to the store and like Target and stuff, and like, just bought like this like toy like Green Goblin glider thing, and like just
Mm.
a bunch of stuff, like all these like movie cards. Um, like they have like those little like movie collectible cards or whatever. But yeah, like the movie just had a great charm to it, and like, I hadn't really seen any Marvel movies back around that time, I don't think, and like I always played the games and stuff as a kid, so I think, that was really the first time I saw like any Marvel movie. And then like the only other Marvel movie I saw around that time was Daredevil
Mm.
and the original Hulk movie. And
Yeah.
yeah, but like that's a movie I can always rewatch though, is like the Spider-Man original trilogy or whatever. But I mean, Spider-Man 2 especially is like the probably my favorite in the series, because it was just that great. I mean, there's no secret to why people are still talking about that movie to this very day, and like every, especially some of the most famous scenes in all of Marvel come out of that movie. Like the train scene and everything.
Wait,
Because
wasn't that Spider-Man 2 though?
yeah, that's what I mean, Spider-Man 2. But like I was just saying, like, yeah, that's all in Spider-Man 2. I kind of moved on to a new thing, but with the original though, like, yeah, the original just blew me away. Like I still stand by this, right? I still feel like that was the best Green Goblin iteration,
Yeah.
because I mean, what I feel like is that movie, it has the best suit designs in my opinion. Like pretty much exactly what, a comic book movie should be, or at least what I like the best for comic book movies is when they basically stick to the original character design, and where to the point where the character is still really recognizable, but they dress it up in a really great way, meaning
Mm.
they basically, they take the original concept, but they basically tweak it a little bit by adding like say like new things, like these new incredible materials for the suit and stuff. You know, like
Right.
like the fabric and stuff, so it doesn't look like too cartoony. It looks very Hollywood or whatever. Like the silver webs and stuff was like a great choice, I feel like, because like that still looks good to this very day. It aged really well, I feel like, but. And the same with Green Goblin's design is like, I looked at some of the deleted concepts for the Green Goblin's original appearance, and they were actually going to turn him into like, basically like, he was going to have like a really, almost like a more goblin like look, where he was like, he would look, he would have looked more like he fit in like a fantasy film rather than a superhero movie. So I feel like they made the right decision by taking that original Green Goblin concept, but basically turning it into that like robot type effect, where it's like
Mm.
he's got like that, like that metal effect on his suit and everything, where it's like, and the helmet and everything like that. So that was a pretty good decision, I feel like. And then of course the movie game came out too, the Spider-Man movie game for PS2, and the multi-platform game actually, but I had it on PS2 because that was the first time I got my PS2, and that was the first game I played on it actually.
Really?
Yeah. But and yeah, it pretty much blew me away, because like, I always played like the PlayStation 1 Spider-Man game, and the like I actually had it on Dreamcast first though, the Spider-Man 1 game, but then because that was the port from the PS1 version. But then I played the Spider-Man 2 Enter Electro game on PS1, but that Spider-Man movie game on the PS2, like, it just blew my mind when I first played it. Like back, I can't even believe that I thought this, right? Because we've seen how far graphics have evolved. They
Mm.
just look incredible to this very day, right? But back then, when the PS2 came out, like that was the mind blower. That's the crazy thing to think about is like, how did I think that like this original like Spider-Man PS2 game like had the most realistic looking graphics? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But like, I mean, it does hold up pretty well. I'm not gonna lie, it really does, because I've seen some clips of it. I decided to go back and look at some clips of the game again, and like, you know, I mean, the Spider-Man 2 game definitely has one of the best swinging mechanics. That it pretty much pioneered the whole swinging and how swinging should be in a Spider-Man game, I guess.
yeah,
But I mean, and that's how like they have it nailed in the newer ones, like that Spider-Man game that came out on PS4 recently, right? That was really good too. Like
yeah.
they pretty
Preferably
much
that one.
they pretty much nailed the swinging again in that. But and there's a few other ones too, like Spider-Man Web of Shadows has really good swinging. Um, Even the Spider-Man 3 game. But yeah, and then let's see. There was one other. Oh yeah, of course. The last movie I guess I was gonna think about saying was, I guess probably Pirates of the Caribbean or something. The
That's
Pirates of the
fair.
Caribbean movies, because I can always rewatch those any day. Like
That's true.
I really liked those movies as a kid too. Like
I prefer like the first one, to be honest.
yeah, the first one was really good. I don't know which is my favorite, to be honest with you. Like, so I guess. I mean, yeah, the first one was great. It was a classic one, right? I don't know, for
Mhm.
some reason, like I kind of liked some aspects of Dead Man's Chest and everything. Like for some reason, that was the one that I feel like I could never see that enough, because it was like it was almost never on TV. Like
That's
I
true.
would always want it to come on TV, and like it would never come on. So like it almost made me like it even more because of that. But yeah, like I like that whole thing they did with the like that iconic scene where he's like running through the forest with that wheel thing. He's on that wheel, like he's like, and then he's on top, like sword fighting or whatever.
Oh yeah, I think I remember that.
Yeah, like that was an iconic thing. And then, but then of course, at World's End, that was another really great, probably one of my favorites too, because it was just, I think around like middle school or something when I saw that movie, and like it was just a great time. It was just like that was a perfect way to end off the series or whatever for that time. But then of course they made the new ones, but like I was thinking that was going to be the last one. But like that whole Davy Jones thing and everything was crazy. Like,
I mean, isn't it always supposed to be?
what do you mean?
I mean, be honest, isn't it supposed to be like crazy with that type of stuff?
Oh yeah, it's supposed to be crazy. I'm just saying like, yeah, I'm not saying it's not supposed to be crazy. I guess that's just my way of saying it's really good. Like
What made
the because like that was probably one of my favorite fight scenes, I guess, even in movie history, is that face off with Davy Jones or whatever, where they're just battling on top of the ship.
that's true. That was actually a really cool fight scene, though. I will.
Yeah.
But what let me think. What was cool? What people really liked about Pirates of the Caribbean was more of just Jack on an adventure. No one really much cared about the sequels. I don't think
Mhm.
it was really strange. First, we have a movie about a pirate, and that worked well because of the adventures of Jack Sparrow. But then less focus was on Jack because that's what people really wanted from these movies.
Right.
Apparently, that's why I've looked up in the gist of it when I was like researching Pirates of the Caribbean for myself, like on what I would think makes really good specific like types of things, if you will.
Mhm.
I don't know. It was crazy to think about,
Yeah.
But nevertheless, I really do appreciate the fact that people legitimately want something more out of this than they can anticipate, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the thing, though. People have to consider the idea of what the artist is trying to create more than what the audience just wants, you know?
Right.
And sometimes even the people who are trying to make those films actually work. They either follow the book because they're really good fans of the books, or they have to do their own thing as well, you know?
Yeah.
And the problem is it takes time to actually understand on how to actually get this stuff done, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Uh, Live action movies. Okay, I already mentioned those other two as well.
Yeah.
Favorite live action movies, so that's the problem. I need to think.
Well, you did tell me already some of them, like your
Yeah, but
Indiana
I
Jones.
can't necessarily say I have an all-time favorite because I don't believe I should pick favorites.
Right.
I mean, I can't pick a top one at all. Like,
I know what you mean. It's too hard to do that, but that's why I didn't do it either. Like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, if I had to pick a top favorite, like, I don't know if I really could. You know, I mean, I already told you my top three basically, though.
yeah, I mean,
And I mean, there's still a ton of other ones, you know, that I love and like might even think of down the line that I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta add that or whatever. But I mean, it's put it this way, like the choices I selected, they're solid enough choices where I would be okay with leaving them as my top three though, because that's just how much I like them. So
I got you, man. Like, what I would let's see. I do want to go back to something, but let me think. Uh, hmm. Let me think. Crap. I'm trying to remember because we really don't really have much time for any more of the other three topics.
yeah,
So
yeah, we're not gonna make it to the rest of them.
let's see.
We can just finish off talking about what we're talking about.
Okay, let me think. Okay, I know something. Okay,
Oh yeah, I
let's think
guess.
about
What's that?
what were we saying now?
It's okay. You can go first.
No, it's not that. I'm just trying to remember something as well because what made it interesting when it comes to this topic is that the reason why I like some classic movies is because sometimes they just get it a little
Right.
bit. And let's see, there was one movie in particular that was live action that I really appreciated, but at the same time, I can't necessarily remember what that film was. Give me a quick second. I'll be right back.
Sure.
It won't take me long.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Oh, Lord. Okay, so, what was I talking about? Shit. Or darn.
I don't know what you were gonna say.
Okay, what was I talking about? Can't think. Okay.
It's okay. Why don't you think about it while I say something, I guess?
Okay, I think I got it. Okay, okay. When it comes, there's a bit of something I both like and dislike about, like, some live action movies. Like, some live action movies try to capture something that either works or it just doesn't. Like,
Okay.
say for example that you want to, like, watch, like, the movie called the Maze Runner.
Okay.
I can never like the film franchise. In fact, I will never
You didn't like
appreciate it.
them? I actually did. I really did like those movies. What didn't you like about them?
Well, one, I should have read the books because the books are basically considered to be the best medium of the story.
Okay.
Because the original works are what makes it stand out the most.
Right.
But the movies make it sound like it's a very dumb concept.
Really?
I would think so, because it just seems stupid to me, because you would have to have these guys survive in a maze. Like, I haven't seen all of them, but I can tell by the premise of what they're trying to do here, but it just seems really, like, God, how am I going to say this? let me think though. The problem with the whole Maze Runner thing, I just feel like that the movies, it just felt boring to me when I first saw them. I didn't really see anything intriguing. Don't get me wrong, it was an interesting idea to have them to do that, but when you find out the reason why they're behind that maze, it just doesn't sound very. It's not very. It just sounds really dumb because if this virus thing were really so bad, surely it would have caught on to the maze as well if it were that bad. But then again, they weren't anywhere near it, so maybe that doesn't really count. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, okay, so here's what I think is like probably one of my favorite parts. I mean, like I did enjoy all the movies, right? But but yeah, the like the first movie, people do like say the first movie is probably one of the best in the series, but what I enjoyed the most about the first one is I thought the the actual monster in the maze was probably my favorite in the whole series. Cause like if you look at that monster or whatever they made, like that was some insane 3D or whatever they did with that
CGI.
Yeah, like that was a crazy looking monster design. Like I never really saw anything like it, really.
I could say I can compare it to a creature that looks like a monster from Doom. The brain one.
I guess, but like, yeah, but I mean, like, I'm not saying there aren't other monsters that exist that look like it. But what I'm saying is, like, I feel like there are more movies that should do more of that sort of thing, though, where it's like, the monster is like really abstract looking, like they don't look like just say a basic like creature or a basic like recognizable thing with like two eyes, you know what I mean?
That's fair.
Where it's just like a humanoid, it's basically just a humanoid creature where it's like, they have two eyes and like sharp teeth, and that's it. That's their big idea of a scary thing. That's what I liked about the Maze Runner is it's like they come out with this creature where it's like actually pretty intimidating looking. Like, the thing isn't just like something that's like on the same level as you. Like it's not just like a humanoid creature. It's like I feel like that's scarier in my opinion, is like seeing something like that, like just this like huge abomination of a thing.
That is true. I will give you that, because like the reason why I prefer animation more than anything is because when you have animation, I believe the work you have is more meaningful when you draw it and when you do it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, don't get me wrong, voices are definitely needed for this role, but I prefer animation because you can get away with so much. You can get away with effects that actually blend into that world. Whereas live action, we have so much CGI that I would kind of feel sick about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like this trailer I looked on for Call of the Wild. My God, they CGI'd a dang dog, for crying out loud. Like literally, the dog, like the dog literally didn't even feel like it was actually a dog. It was just like an animated creature, and that doesn't make any sense. Why would you do that? It should just be a real.
Like, I guess they would. To me, it seems like the only reason they would do that is, I guess, if they had limitations for shooting the animal or whatever. Like, if they couldn't like get the animal to like do a certain stunt, or they were afraid to because they would hurt him or something. But
and that's the thing, though. I only saw the trailer, and to me, by looking at the trailer, it seems like they would only make the dog CGI 20 like throughout the entire film, and that's why I might have to see it in order to see if that's actually true or not. Because, folks, don't get me wrong. Like, when I look at something, sometimes I will forget to just check it out to the point to where I get impatient. and I sort of like skipped that part. But I'm trying to be more determined to see an actual movie through fruition, and then I have to like basically just come with my own opinion about it, and just simply just say, okay, so this movie sucks because there's one thing, and then there's other movies like crap because there's nothing else that, you see what I mean here? Because it's like so many movies are being made and being on stream now because of the pandemic, or in this case, the Barney Surprise birthday party, as they keep calling it. I know people are probably either going to get pissed off or be like, that's not that funny. But
yeah.
The funny thing is, like, when you see animation in live action in a way to where it proves it can be so much more, simply just animation and like live action, it gives you a perspective of how a story can be presented and implemented into a completely different set.
Yeah, I can see what you mean.
And folks, what I mean by that is, like, when you set something in motion like that, you have to stick with it. Not just because it's simply just, your job and you have to do what the client says, but with animation, it feels like most of the time that's not really the case, because people have the freedom to actually make different ideas and make it work. I mean, Pixar, for crying out loud, that it's 3D animated, but it's still animation to its core.
Yeah.
How they animate things and how they produce it is by far some of the best work and ideas and realization that I'm going to have to be doing some of this stuff myself in my own time, besides just our future projects when we finally actually have our chance to make our own games and things like that. Because I do want to make films besides just games alone and try to implement different ideas. I am taking game design, and I will be pursuing animation after this happens. And I'm simply just trying to just do my work, do my schooling, and just move on. Because once after I complete my game design and then work on my animation during my time at school, I'm not going to say which one, because guess what? I just don't want to deal with that right now. But at the same time, I simply just want to actually just help make things actually work.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe if I can try and implement my own ideas into doing this, I can actually make something work to my full advantage that actually works out to the best of my knowledge when it comes to creating something I wish to create and wish to contribute in creating as well.
Right.
And the reason why I prefer animation like TV shows or movies is because some of them have really fascinating ideas.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Like, say, for example, that you... Okay, there's one show that I have failed to see the second season for, but...
What show?
It's a miniseries called Infinite Train.
Infinite Train?
Yes.
Huh, nice.
Now, hear me out. For those who have seen this show, I'm not... And for those who haven't, I'm not giving any spoilers, but I will say the concept is simple. It is such a simple idea, but yet somehow it just really works well. It's about this girl named Tulip. Not kidding, that's actually her name, Tulip, like the vegetable.
Right.
And what happens is she is going to a camp called Game Design Camp. Her parents weren't able to go because they were divorced, and in a strange way, she literally is on her way there by foot. She then enters into this thing called this train.
Okay.
Now, no one knows exactly why they go through this infinite train. But here's the thing that happens. You are implemented with something called a number. Now that number reaches 0, you go straight back to your original world.
Yeah.
What makes it interesting, though, is that every card that you go to allows you to go to a completely different reality of existence in the confines of that card. Now, I haven't seen season 2, so I'm not sure if they'll explain how that actually came to be with this train.
That's pretty interesting.
But it goes through a very infinite track. I think I haven't seen the full track of it, but I've only seen the episodes of season 1, and it was only discussing about Tulip's adventure with this cute robot that splits itself into 2 different halves called 1-1. And on their journey, they find a mysterious conductor.
Okay.
And the conductor is like literally, in this case, like we don't know who the real conductor was. We don't know what happened to the original conductor until the end of season 1, which I'm not going to spoil. But there is a connection of loss, of going through something horrible, and that's what makes it so unique. It doesn't have to be the same exact thing.
Yeah.
Like a parent's divorce, or possibly like losing somebody that you care about. And you would do anything to get that person back despite everything that actually happened.
Yeah, I see.
That's really just an example. You could say like you lost your opportunity to finally be something you want to be, and you would do anything to get that back as well. But there's no going back into what happens.
Yeah.
And made abundantly clear in this show that just has such a great idea of how that works, how that blends in. Like, and despite all of its weird content, it doesn't necessarily back away from it. And yet somehow what makes it work is that despite all the craziness and everything else, you see tensions in certain scenes that like I said, I can't really spoil because it's better that you see it for yourself, Eric, and for those who haven't seen it, to see it.
Yeah.
My God, it's fascinating on how they do this. And I will say I have seen the first episode of season 2, and they don't even focus on the same character. They do completely different characters, completely same situation.
Right.
But when it makes those differences, it works so well to actually just try to blend in something that actually that fits, that actually. I don't know how to really describe how to actually. I don't really know how to describe film because I haven't really studied much on film history, or oddly enough, even enough in art history to actually like implement ideas that actually make this actually work. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I do need to do more research on how films and animation actually work. You know, like effects and drawing in a scene, drawing an emotional like expense. Because you're looking at a guy who literally, or hearing from a guy, in this case, that literally is still studying how to even life draw outside of doing just my game design degree first, you know?
Right. Yeah, I see what you mean, though. Like, and yeah, I mean, like, going back to what you were saying about, like, you know, like, the whole animation thing is, like, you know, I feel like that's what we kind of look for in, like, or at least what I look for in, like, any kind of thing. Like, to me, it personally, I don't really care that much about what the medium is, I guess. Like, you know, whether it's going to be animation, say, like, something that was motion captured, or if it was a movie, live action or animated, or if it's just, like, a game. You know, I kind of just mostly care if it's an interesting concept, I guess, for a for whatever whatever the media is, whatever the title is we're talking about. Like, I guess that's kind of what I focus on the most, is if it's even just an interesting concept. But
Yeah.
because of course there's all different kinds of things I like, but I was gonna say like I don't know, I can't remember if I mentioned it or not, but I've basically been playing like the I told you already, of course, but I'm talking about like to the viewers. I don't know if I told anybody on the show yet because we only had one episode, but I basically been playing like Horizon Zero Dawn, and I basically almost finished the game now. I finished the game, but the Frozen Wilds DLC, I'm like about to finish that up today. But and that's like the only downloadable content they have right now. But they are talking about making a sequel, probably. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's just a crazy good game though. Like, it has. I mean, what I really like about it is like just seeing just thinking about the fact that this is like a 3D game. It's like. I mean, and that goes for a lot of games out there. Is like you can just see the attention to detail they put into like making these characters so detailed. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when you look at the costumes in Horizon Zero Dawn, like, it's kind of the thing where it's like you look at it and it's just like you try to wrap your head around like how they even made all this like armor and stuff. It's like, I mean, yeah, of course we know how they did it, but it's like it makes you really appreciate it. Like, I mean, games have come a far way graphically, but yeah, I definitely recommend anybody to play that game. Like, you should definitely try it out sometime too, Sam. Like,
I will definitely.
it's a
I
really
will
good
definitely.
game. Like,
I get a laptop. The first thing I'm gonna do is, besides my classes, I have to do classes on this laptop right here, even till then. Hopefully, it'll work out and I can actually use what I need for them.
well, since you're getting that thing, you should actually get the PC version, maybe, if you want.
PC version.
Yeah, of Horizon Zero Dawn. They're actually
Right.
gonna release it on PC now.
Oh no, I plan to. I guess I should get the PlayStation 4 version later, but that's the thing.
Yeah, play it on whichever one you really want to. Like, I played the PS4 version and I'm happy with it.
Because
we end the show then.
Almost. There is one thing I like to say though. Like, the great thing I envy on myself is that I'm angry at myself because I basically feel like no matter how many times I draw, I mean, it does get better and better, but I feel like I want to do more than just draw it out. I want to animate and make it work. Because I really believe in this career I want to do besides just my game design. And with my new equipment coming along the way, because I got lucky enough to actually have someone who believes in my career, I still believe that I want to at least try. Like, heck, I haven't made myself a Patreon account, and I haven't even used it yet because I haven't really brought anything out yet for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I do want to make models and learn how to do drawings so I can put drawings on Patreon and actually do some animated projects of my own so that way people can give me support, but not necessarily just for the sake of just support alone. But it's weird. People do like support of the channel, and they do support that stuff for as low as they can, for as high as they want to.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to me trying to simply enter ideas and perspectives that fit into making something like animation or games in general, sometimes people think that games are just like video games, but sometimes they're not. They are mediums and stories of their own right, and they actually have something to look forward to. They're referenced by something that people enjoyed when looking into when they were kids. They're referenced by events that someone had in their life,
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, people forget that games can change people's lives. They can somehow help people with education. They actually offer something that actually works, you know?
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, like, that's the thing, like, especially, today's games, and even, like, going back as far as, like, say, like, the whole, like, era with, like, the PS2 and Xbox, and, like, even the PS1 probably and stuff, right, is, like, when they started, I mean, yeah, games of, I guess, even going back as far as the NES era and stuff, but, I mean, it's kind of more prevalent in the PS1 era and stuff where, the stories started becoming more, I guess, believable because of all the technology advancements, right? But,
Hmm.
they basically, they started having, like, the whole cinematic approach where it's like, having like full-fledged cutscenes and stuff, like say like something like Metal Gear and stuff, Metal Gear Solid, or like Kingdom Hearts. They're just, it's more than just like playing a game, like then like a basic game, like say like checkers or something. Like it's like, they have a whole cinematic edge to it where it's almost like you're basically playing a movie. So it's like
Yeah.
that's how they, at least some games, really have that kind of power over you, and it's like they kind of have that power to speak to you as more than just a game.
And I'm not gonna lie though, and I would dare say that the Uncharted franchise is a big example of that too.
Yeah, exactly. Like that was a huge contributor. That was
And
especially when that era was when they really did start coming out with a lot of cinematic games where like they really were starting to turn into like almost movies. I mean, they, especially with the game Heavy Rain.
yeah,
I mean, Heavy Rain, and there were a few others at the time, and of course there were other games actually before that time. And like even in the PS2, like those studios like Quantic Dream and Remedy and stuff, they did make other games beforehand, which debatably had almost the same type of cinematic edge, but since the whole advancements of technology came through and everything, they were just that much more believable on the like the PS3 and stuff. So
right, okay. That is true. I will agree with you. Some of these games I haven't exactly played or heard of yet, and but the reason, because I believe that whenever you create something like that, like a game or even animation in general, it makes it feel real because it's being created by people who want to put something into it, which that gives it real effect of just like giving it a real sensation of becoming something that connects to you, that defines you as a person, because you can see yourself in animation or in characters being created, you know?
yeah,
And that's the thing people don't seem to understand. Like, people don't seem to figure that, I don't know, it's hard to actually think
hmm,
and really like implement, you know what I mean?
yeah,
I don't know. But when you have live action movies, it feels like some of that is like being taken away. But here's the thing about live action movies today that really makes me feel concerned, because they're actors, brand new, who are trying to do something, but I don't think they really have ever actually seen a true movie that actually defines human emotions, you know? Because that's the thing about what people are trying to do. You have to understand that, like, well, you don't really have to understand. Like, I implore you to understand in this case
right,
to where when you watch or look into someone else's like characters, like how the eyes actually work. Don't get me wrong. Some films are huge, unbelievable masterpieces
Mm-hmm.
in their own right. Like you have to try and understand, like when you add specifically ideas and perspectives that actually make it work. Like for example, you would have someone falling off a building, but the thing is, if you tell the person like that they're going to fall off that building, although they're going to land on a mat to safely not get hurt. But if you let them drop without warning, that reaction becomes real.
Right.
And I'm
I
sure
see
you
what
know.
you're saying. Yeah, I see exactly what you're saying. Like, it's kind of like this, right? Like, what you're saying about the whole real thing, right? It's almost like this too. Is like, when you see like two characters in a live action movie on screen, right? The two actual actors that play them, right? Clearly, like, they're not like, say they're not really, if you have like a couple on screen or something, like they're not a couple in real life, right? But clearly they have some kind of chemistry between each other, that they try and pick two people that have some kind of chemistry with each other, right? So, when you see them on the screen acting, it's kind of like you just said, where it's like real, where, when you put these two people on the screen, there's just a natural thing that is real between them. You're not gonna just like have like it's not like they're acting, when they're like kissing or something. I mean, they might be in some cases, I'm sure there's some cases where maybe the people didn't even like each other at all. But then
Yeah,
in most cases though, it's like, clearly they have a chemistry that is real, and they're not like that kind of thing. You can't really act. I mean, that's pretty much them just being themselves for that moment or whatever.
I mean that's the thing. Even I tried actual acting, but I realized that. I mean, there was one point in my life where I was told that I sucked, but I'm not gonna let it affect me for the rest of my whole life, because if I can do voice acting in a
Oh,
really
listen
great,
to it.
grand, specific way, I I would actually literally just specifically say, okay, let me think. Crap! Now I just got sidetracked. Okay,
That's okay.
when don't get me wrong, there are some people who have grand promises of being an actor or something else, but the problem is, what about studios who dedicate themselves to, or producers who actually care about what it is they're trying to produce?
Mhm.
I mean, it's like Michael Bay, for Christ's sake. It's like him basically just like saying, "Oh, people are going to go see a Transformers movie because it's a Transformers movie." I'm like, no. Let me explain to you on why, Michael Bay. Is because Transformers movies are not simply, or even the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies are not something that you can simply just like say, "Oh, people are going to see it because it's there." No, you have to add in some creative ideas. Don't get me wrong. The effects and the designs of each character did look kind of interesting.
Mhm.
But the problem is, you would have to have, like, it's not even Michael Bay that puts all this work into it. It's everyone else that does it around him.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would say I'm sure he does put a lot of work into the movies.
I
But
wouldn't say
what I
that
mean
because
is, what I'm saying is, like, I guess what I think is, everybody should deserve equal, recognition for what they do.
Yeah, I guess, but I mean that's the thing though. I am glad he's not touching any more movies like Transformers or anything like that either, because people will stop watching those films today if they were produced by Michael Bay. I'm 100% being honest, because that's exactly what people feel.
Hmm.
I mean, there's some that may like them because, you know, it happens. But at the same time, let me think now. Okay, so okay, so on that little side note there, I still believe that film has a chance to keep literally redeeming itself by giving people different perspectives, different ideas, and there are a lot of great ideas out there. I mean, we have Joker as one of the examples. We have, let's see, we even have like, I can't necessarily say The Witcher because it's a TV series, not necessarily a movie, but
Well, it's still, I guess you can still consider it like film, I guess, like that category, even though it's not an actual movie.
True. And then there's also like the idea of
Or cinema. I guess cinema would really be the term, I guess, maybe.
Yeah. And there's like crap, what else do we see? God, I really have to think. I do remember seeing more modern movies besides just the Joker, and because we saw it with Robert, remember that?
Yeah.
Wait, didn't we see it with Michael? Wasn't Michael there too?
No, Michael didn't see it.
No, it was Eric. Eric was there. Other Eric.
No, he was. He didn't see Joker with us. No. Okay, here's the thing. Eric and Robert came with us to see Sonic.
Right, okay.
It was only me and Robert that saw Joker.
What about... Well, I also came with you, remember?
That's why I said me, you, and Robert that saw Joker.
Okay. My mistake then, because I thought there was somebody with us besides that. It had to be.
No, there was. Yeah, at the other time.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I guess finishing off with, is there anything else that you wanted to say to finish it off or whatever?
Yeah, I was trying to finish off by saying that movies like Joker are the example on why film is still considered to be something that's just going to work because of what they put in there, how they implemented the story, what time of timeline that they gave Joker in this case.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I really enjoyed that movie. Like,
well, of course. I mean, and that's a strange thing, though. People are still giving it, like, some good or bad reviews on it, and people have to realize it's just a dang impressive film. I'm not going to say it's one of the best films, but at the same time, I can't necessarily say that it's, like, bad either, because I, like, looked on, like, I literally looked up, like, Metacritic score on it. It's like 59, which means that it's still good, but yet it's not groundbreaking, which is very interesting on why that's not the case. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And yet...
Well, I mean, that's the thing is, like, you know, even if something was a masterpiece, you know, it's not necessarily always going to get the recognition it deserves because that's just how it works, I guess, you know? Like, things that are good aren't always necessarily profitable, unfortunately.
And that's the weird thing too, though. Like, I don't know. It's crazy when you really think about it. But at the same time, it's appreciative because people can understand how movies like this actually work. You know?
Yeah.
Like, and that's the thing. I need to figure out exactly what's good, not necessarily just by what I read on the score alone, but what I believe.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I can't really go with like say like I'm trying not to go necessarily by a movie review alone. Like I want to see something for myself. And the reason why I say Maze Runner is, and I hate to say it again, stupid, is because they have to go through a maze, find out this stuff about a virus, then they have to do a bunch of things. Like I only saw it when I was like at this donation place I go to, which I'm not going to give it anything. I just donate plasma. It's just a plasma center. I'm not going to say the name of it.
Yeah, I mean, personally, like, I just didn't understand, like, what, I just don't understand what's stupid about that, though.
I mean, it's just like, I don't know. It's like they have to go through like, I really don't know how to actually further explain why though. I mean, I would probably have to rewatch everything in order to do this. Plus, I only saw like the second film on a small bit because I was at the donation center giving out plasma,
Ah, okay.
and I should have seen the whole film for myself. But you see, this is where I kind of need to start being more careful on be more prepared on what I review. You know, you see here, folks, because if I don't like see it for myself and actually try to actually understand it first, this is where I basically start stuttering in a weird way. Like, because I can't really just say like,
Well, we're basically, like, you know, like, we don't script any of this.
we don't. We can be. We're very much all like. The only thing we have as like a thing is like that we just read topics that we really want to discuss personally for ourselves.
Yeah.
Whether it's at random as possible, or just there, potentially just for the sake of just potentially being there.
Mm-hmm.
And in a weird way, I'm always the most like unprepared. I need to work on that. That is true.
No, you're good, dude.
I mean,
Say you're unprepared.
it's just in case because I just like want to try and make this channel actually work to full extent of what it can be, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And heck, I even want to do like a Let's Play channel one day with my friend Eric here.
Yeah.
And see how that actually works out and see that we can actually try to actually just implement and make it work, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And sure, yeah, like I really do hope that our videos, that people who are watching them actually do appreciate what we're trying to do. In terms of just simply talking about this stuff. Because when you hear us simply talking about this stuff, it's not necessarily for the sake of just talking about it. We want to actually hope to get like a response from you and see if you had any feelings towards it.
Yeah, like, I honestly can't wait to see, like, what everyone has to say about everything that we just talked about. Like, we definitely want to hear what your favorites are, and you know, things like your favorite live action movie and everything we just talked about, really. Like, so, you know, with these videos, like, as you're watching them, you know, just feel free to you know, if you find a part that you like what you're hearing about, or you like the topic, then, you know, feel free as you're watching, you know, I guess just like write a comment or something, and you know, tell us what you think. And yeah, like, if you're new to the channel, like, you know, definitely thank you for taking the time to watch our videos, and like, you can definitely get caught up if you just go to our you know, our videos section, and you know, see all of our videos. Pretty soon I'm gonna make a playlist for, you know, every episode basically that we have so far, which is only 2 so far, but you know, that eventually I'm gonna start just adding every video to that playlist, and you'll just be able to go to that playlist.
But we're trying to simply just do something that's unique and trying to actually see how we can contribute to possibly helping some people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, granted, this channel's only purpose was and still is just to simply just talk about the stuff we want to talk about, ask for opinions about it,
Right.
and try to actually just move on with it and try to give it a specific idea, you know?
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, like, that's part of the thing too, is like I don't know, like in my mind, we potentially could be helping somebody because, you know, on this show we're gonna be talking about a lot of different, you know, entertainment media and stuff. So, you know, we might end up mentioning like some obscure movie or something or game, you know, that maybe somebody hasn't really heard of before and then if they hear about it, then, you know, they might want to see and check it out for themselves. So,
Yeah, because the point of it, like I said one last time, the point of this is simply just to get you interested in something. The Cauldron of Interest, by talking about our own interest, we can give you a simple idea that maybe you might be interested into it as well.
mm-hmm.
That's specifically the whole reason why we came up with that title, The Cauldron of Interest, because everyone can somehow get mixed into being interested in something without even realizing it.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I mean, even I have to admit, I'm surprised I even came up with such a clever title.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I really like it, dude. Like, I honestly probably wouldn't even change it to anything else.
Yeah, but since no one hasn't really, well, eventually though, I hope that you guys do become interested in these films again. So if you do like it, please comment, subscribe, and let us know how you think, what you think about your types of medium, and let us know what you loved growing up with as a kid or recently, and just simply let us know because we do like to actually understand how this actually affects you the most.
Yep.
Until then, this is Nephilim 2.0 and
Eric over
and
here.
Eric. So let us know how you are, and take care, guys.
Yep. And see you later, guys.